The series begins with Ree wearing her safety suit, holding her coffee in her hand. And of course, with that walk of hers, she's definitely heading to her own company. The moment she arrives, she finds the assistant standing there waiting for her so they can brief her on the day's schedule. She heads to her office, fully aware she has endless work. In the middle of the day, a man confidently walks in with a file in his hand. And when she takes it and opens it, she finds inside a heart-shaped box with a diamond ring. He tells her his name is Station Nuria, repeating the same sentence over and over until she wakes up startled and realizes she overslept in the bus on the way. So no suit, no company, not even the diamond ring. It was all just a daydream. And that's when we learn the truth. Life for her is one tragic story. For more than 5 years, she's been taking the government employee exam, and by God's will, she's never passed it once. Even the professor giving them the lecture uses her as an example for the other students, telling them, "Here's Ree. She has never once fallen asleep in my class, but she has also never passed, so don't be like her." She takes the words to heart because she's on the edge of her 30s and still nothing has changed in her life. She waits until class ends and goes to tell him she was offended by what he said because you never know how a single comment could ruin someone's day. He realizes she's being dramatic for nothing, so he gives her a coupon that makes all the month's lectures free, and instantly her mood flips, and she spends 15 minutes thanking him non-stop. Her friend is shocked she gave up her pride so quickly. They go together to the market where her friend works, and the friend keeps telling her she should have taken a stronger stand. Ree answers that once you hit 30, your top priority becomes saving money. Dignity and pride won't pay the bills, especially if you're unemployed. Later, Ree returns home from work, replaying her friend's words in her head. How so much time has passed, and she still has nothing to show for her efforts. She tries to keep a smile on her face when she gets home, so her mom won't worry even more, especially since her sister Dan's wedding is around the corner. Dan shows her a rented wedding dress that, according to her, will dazzle all the guests. But Dan and their mom keep exchanging suspicious looks, like there's a hidden disaster. Dan finally reveals a plane ticket and hotel booking for Jeju Island for 4 days and 3 nights. For a moment you feel like, wow, what an amazing sister. She booked Rai into their honeymoon. But then Dan confesses everything. She lied to the groom's family, telling them her sister is studying abroad in America and can't attend the wedding. They can't risk messing up that lie because one wrong word could expose everything. Their mother clearly doesn't like this at all, but Dan keeps giving useless excuses. Ree, on the other hand, feels like slapping her, but she pretends she's fine. She's used to these humiliations and goes to her room so she can cry privately without hurting her pride. Meanwhile, we meet Hyuk, our male lead, who owns a company and works as a consultant. Basically, his job is to step in when a company has a project they can't manage and guide them step by step until things stabilize. And then he takes a percentage. He's in his office, juggling 3 online meetings at once, answering each client in a different language because he's full option. The Arab client is a bit demanding and insists that a Korean programmer named Kon be the one responsible for the project. After the call, Hyuk wonders if Kon really wants to quit and go work for an Arab company. His assistant Jan interrupts him because once a meeting goes well, that means it's time to celebrate. They go out together, but Hyuk isn't into partying. He stays seated, clearly uncomfortable around women. Jan spends the whole night promising he'll find him the woman he'll fall for at first sight. Hyuk tells him to forget this childish talk and come back to reality. The next day, he wakes up to a visit from Gang, a family friend. She tells him she has 2 news items, one bad and one good, and asks which he wants first. When he ignores her completely, she continues talking as if nothing happened. She tells him the good news is that they will get married because his father talked to her father about it, though nothing is final yet. Hyuk is tired of this monthly repeated proposal. He would never marry her because he doesn't have romantic feelings for her. Before she can continue with the bad news, he takes her by the hand and sends her away. Meanwhile, Rai takes breakfast and goes to her neighbor Soo-in's place. He is a lonely single father, raising his 5-year-old son John alone after his wife left them. Since they're neighbors, their relationship turns somewhat like family. She tells him what her sister did, and he says it's a good opportunity to find someone she can love instead of living in isolation. He asks if she's still stuck in past wounds, which upsets her. She tells him it's time to move on and start anew. When she arrives at the airport, she finds pictures of Khan, her ex, everywhere. She's shocked by his sudden fame. She remembers the last time they were together when they broke up. She was excited about their upcoming school reunion, and he exploded saying he was tired of her. For more than a year, she hasn't succeeded in work or their relationship. Since she didn't understand the hints and he has been trying to push her away, he finally told her clearly this was their last day together. Then he mocked her Harry Potter sweater. She snaps out of the sad memories. This isn't the time for heartbreak. Coincidentally, Hyuk also arrives at the airport, headed to Jeju Island, to meet Khan and offer him a job. Ri tries to enjoy the trip, roaming around the island, until she unexpectedly meets her old school friend Sojin, and they jump around happily like best friends reunited. But the coincidences don't end. She discovers Sojin is on vacation with her fiancé, who turns out to be Khan, the ex. Khan pretends he's seeing Ri for the first time. Out of embarrassment, Ri claims she's also here with her boyfriend, pulls out her phone, pretending to talk to someone, and leaves them. She tries to drink her frustration away, but the human mind loves to torture itself, so she remembers every painful moment in her life, all the job interviews she failed because her university is considered a low-rank unknown place. Companies assuming since her father died, her upbringing must have been bad, and all this crushed her self-esteem. She even once thought of ending her life by jumping from a wall. While sitting alone, she sees Hyuk standing by the sea with his arms stretched out, and she assumes he wants to jump too. Without thinking, she runs to him, grabs him from behind, and tells him nothing in life is worth ending yourself, and she drags him until they both fall over, injuring his arm. At the hospital, the doctor tells him she's asleep from the alcohol, so he takes his jacket and runs away before she wakes up. When Rai wakes up, she discovers Hyuk left after getting 15 stitches and left her stuck with the bill. She pays almost all her money and walks back to the hotel because she can't afford a taxi. The next morning, she wakes up early to catch breakfast. If she misses it, she won't eat all day. She fills her plate and sits enjoying the view, when she suddenly spots Hyuk at the table across from her. She confronts him, insisting he repay her hospital money. She refuses to leave until he returns it, but he wants to escape quickly because he spots Khan from afar. And before he can hide, Khan approaches them with his girlfriend. Ri instantly grabs Hyuk's hand and introduces him as her boyfriend. Khan doesn't question it. In fact, he enjoys showing off and invites them to have breakfast together. He becomes even more enthusiastic when he notices Hyuk looking jealous. Khan invites them to a party at the hotel because he miraculously has 2 extra invitations. After breakfast, Ri must follow Hyuk to his room, because obviously if they're claiming to be engaged, they can't each stay in separate rooms. Hyuk tells her she started the lie, so she has to finish it. He's here to convince Khan to take the job offer, so she must continue the act until the party is over. She refuses at first, but when he offers her 10 times the money she paid at the hospital, she immediately agrees. He takes her dress shopping, and she's shocked by the prices. Who spends that much on clothes? He condescendingly tells her that the woman he's with must look perfect. That triggers memories of her ex mocking her appearance, so she bursts out angrily. Suddenly, they see a pregnant woman drop her bag of oranges in the middle of the road. Ri rushes to stop the cars and help gather the oranges. For some divine reason, Hyuk falls in love in that moment, watching her differently now. He apologizes sincerely for what he said earlier and takes her to a beauty center to redo her entire look. When she finishes and walks down the stairs in slow motion, he's stunned. His choice of dress was perfect. Not only that, he even has a diamond ring ready and puts it on her himself. At the party, she is tense despite memorizing every detail of their relationship, including that their wedding is supposedly in 2 months. Just in case Khan asks, Khan becomes extremely jealous. He never expected she could transform like this. Hyuk notices and brings up the business offer immediately. Ri senses things getting too intense, so she goes to the bathroom. Khan waits for her and tells her he never expected she'd lower herself and let someone drag her around just so he'd get a job offer. She panics because he's very sharp and quickly figured out the act. She pretends she's offended, storms off, and returns to Hyuk. Hyuk feels victorious after Khan's jealous looks and wants to finalize the job discussion. But Ri keeps signaling him to change the topic. Khan reaches a breaking point, his jealousy boiling. He tells Ri that all her effort is admirable, and that thanks to her humility, old feelings are returning. But of course, She's still second place after his fiancée, so he suggests they go to a room together to spend the night. When she reacts in disgust, he tries to drag her by force until Hyuk appears and punches him. Hyuk tells him the job offer is cancelled. He takes Ri to the beach so she can calm down. Feeling emotional, he asks her to continue their fake dating for one more day. She thinks he has another client, but he tells her this is beyond work. He wants to take her on a real date. She returns to her room, thinking about his words, waiting excitedly for the next day. Meanwhile, Hyuk's father is at his company with his daughter Ji, working as his assistant. She forces a smile whenever he appears. She informs him, business is going well. They've expanded internationally, but they need liquidity. He suggests partnering with Lee Yu, but for that to happen, Hyuk must agree to marry Gang. Meanwhile, Gang is at her upscale art gallery, insisting she wants to make it accessible for all social classes. Ri and Hyuk then spend the most beautiful 24 hours together, doing everything couples do, riding bikes, him wiping her mouth romantically as she eats, asking about her family so she can open up. She avoids talking, and instead tells him about a tree in her neighborhood where she eats ice cream whenever she's stressed. He listens to her like it's poetry. To impress her further, he takes her on a boat, telling her he owns a company and works out to grow his biceps, even asking her to feel them. In the middle of all this romance, Ri slips on a rope and falls into the water. He immediately jumps after her to rescue her, and the romantic track continues normally. Meanwhile, Dan's wedding is happening. Strangely, the groom is hiding in the bathroom to avoid loan sharks because he owes them money. The moment he steps out, he grabs the bride, collects all the wedding gift money, and they escape before finishing the marriage paperwork. Their mom is grabbed by one of the creditors, demanding to know where the groom is. With no groom or bride, the wedding is canceled. When their mom returns home, she finds a message from Dan, admitting she herself is also in debt. Shocked, their mother collapses. At that exact moment, Ri is having butterflies on her date, until she gets a call from Soo-in, telling her that her mother is in the hospital and her sister fled the wedding. Ri packs immediately and runs, without even telling Hyuk anything. When Hyuk comes out of the bathroom and realizes she's gone, he panics because he doesn't even have her number. All he knows is her name and the tree in her neighborhood. Ri reaches the hospital crying, feeling she has never repaid her mother for anything. After crying, she is shocked by the huge hospital bill and goes to stand by the tree, remembering her father's encouragement and how he always believed she was strong. She regains energy for a moment, but it fades instantly when she gets home to find a bank employee waiting to inform her they defaulted on the loan and the house will be taken. She feels the world is collapsing on her from every angle. Suddenly, she remembers the handsome guy she left behind without a goodbye. She snaps out of her emotional state and starts working 3 jobs to pay off the debt. Hyuk keeps searching for the tree, hoping to find her address, but after a whole day in the woods, he returns hopeless. The next day, Hyuk's mother is seen in a mental hospital. Her assistant asks her to get ready to see her husband. Meanwhile, Hyuk finally finds the tree, but gets a phone call that shocks him, so he leaves immediately. His mother sits with her husband, terrified and unable to form sentences. Suddenly, she bursts out laughing uncontrollably. The moment she sees Hyuk entering, she calms down and stands with him. It becomes clear her husband is the cause of her hospitalization. After ensuring his mother is stable, Hyuk confronts his father, demanding he divorce her. His father slaps him and lectures him that their brand sells baby products full of love. So how would it look if he divorced? Hyuk decides to sacrifice everything. He agrees to marry Gang, quit his job, and join the family company on the condition that his father divorces his mother. His father agrees. Meanwhile, Rai is searching for any job with a large salary. She sees an ad saying the only requirement is being a mother. Her mind starts spinning because she's basically raising Soo-in's son like her own. She applies. On interview day, Hyuk is present because his sister arranged it. Ri is nervous because she gets humiliated in every interview. Luckily for her, Hyuk steps out before she enters. He then meets Gang and tells her he'll marry her, but it will be a fake marriage just to satisfy their parents. Gang abandons her pride, hoping love may grow eventually. Later, Ri sits with Soo-in under the tree, and suddenly she gets a call from the company saying she's accepted. She feels God finally helped her, but when she arrives, she discovers 3 other mothers in her team, each bringing a lunchbox. She tries to fit in, pretending to be a mom. But when Hyuk walks in, she's shocked to find out he's her manager. In the meeting, Hyuk keeps staring at the fact that everyone on the team is married with kids. He asks her directly about her child, and she confirms her lie because she can't lose the job. Hyuk bursts out laughing hysterically from shock. His sister is confused why he's this happy. She intended to annoy him, not amuse him. Ri runs to the elevator, confused. Why is he here? All she knew was that he had his own company. Why is he suddenly working with baby products? When the elevator opens, he's standing there and pulls her to the rooftop to understand what's going on. He can't believe she's really married with a 5-year-old. He asks why she acted like she didn't have a boyfriend. She panics and improvises that she has a husband, but they had a fight. That's why she acted single. Then she cuts the conversation short and rushes to her desk. Hyuk meets the team and tells them he read their CVs and doesn't expect much. They have no experience. They can just treat the shift as fun and eat, drink, whatever, as long as no one bothers him with problems. Meanwhile, Gang searches for a specific photographer to exhibit his work at her gallery. They learn the model in the picture rejected the idea, so Gang goes to his house personally. Turns out, the man is Soo-in. She tells him she wants to exhibit the photo because the mood is cheerful. He refuses. She asks if the model was his ex, and they broke up badly. He gets angry and leaves her. At the end of the day, Ri talks to Hyuk and begs him to keep what happened on the island between them. He agrees, because this will be her last day at work. He wants her resignation on his desk tomorrow morning. She panics, begging him, saying she can't leave due to her financial situation. He accuses her of being selfish, saying he searched endlessly for her, but she only cares about herself. He storms off. Ri goes home and writes her resignation. But then she remembers her mother's happiness when she finally got a job. She decides she must fight. The next morning, she brings Hyuk coffee and breakfast, begging him to let her stay. He stays cold until she snaps and tells him she won't leave. If he doesn't like it, he can fire her or tell everyone what happened between them. He's surprised by her sudden strength and decides to torture her until she quits herself. He assigns her the hardest project, staying in a tent on a mountain for 5 days, observing weather effects on a baby bottle, and recording everything. Basically, 5 days without sleep. She accepts out of stubbornness. After 3 sleepless nights, Hyuk visits her, expecting she'd be passed out. But when he arrives, he finds the tent on fire. Terrified, he thinks she's inside and tries to put it out. Suddenly, she appears behind him. Out of pure fear, he grabs her to check if she's okay, then snaps out of it and scolds her for damaging company equipment, demanding her resignation again. She reaches her breaking point. She tells him if he doesn't want her around, he can quit himself. The next day, she learns he didn't come to work. One of the team tells her no matter what he does, he will never get fired. He's the boss's son. Later, Ri goes with Soo-in to the supermarket, and they run into Junhee from the team. Ri panics and tells her Soo-in is her husband. Soo-in is shocked by how far she's taking the lie, warning her that they could take legal action if they found out. She begs him to play along. Back at the office, the team is depressed after hearing rumors their department will be eliminated. Ri motivates them to keep working since it's only rumors. They get to work harder than before. When they need Hyuk's approval, Ri bravely volunteers to go to him. At that moment, Hyuk is at the pool, drowning in heartbreak. When he comes out of the water, Ri is standing in front of him. She immediately tells him she and the team spent a week preparing the report, and even if he doesn't care about the job, this work is their source of income. To complete the drama, she kneels in front of him. He takes the file from her hands and throws it into the pool. She jumps in after it, forgetting she can't swim, and starts drowning. Hyuk's conscience awakens, and he jumps in after her to save her. He asks her what was so important about a few papers that she'd risk her life. She tells him it's not just her effort. The whole team worked hard, and he should respect their work. After she leaves, he follows her in his car, insists she gets in, gives her his jacket, claiming he's only doing this so she won't ask the company for medical expenses later. On the way, he asks her to summarize the report because he doesn't have the mental energy to read. She spends 20 minutes explaining everything. Strangely, he's smiling uncontrollably. When they arrive, he tells her the report is good but needs fixing. He gives her another sample report he wrote and tells her to follow the format. She records everything he says so she can apply it. Knowing he loves compliments, she spends 5 minutes praising his report until he practically melts. Before she enters her house, she finds Dan's creditors waiting. She lies that she just moved in and the owner is abroad. They believe her and are about to leave until Hyuk appears, calling her loudly by her name because she forgot her phone in his car. The creditors instantly know she lied. Because running is half of bravery, Ri grabs Hyuk's hand and the two of them start running. Soo-in sees them and concerns himself too, running after them. Hyuk, exhausted, pulls her into a narrow alley to hide. Once things calm down, a romantic moment sparks until Soo-in suddenly appears like an uninvited ghost. They tell him Hyuk is her husband. Hyuk snaps back to reality, realizing he shouldn't cross boundaries with a married woman. Soo-in also scolds her and wraps his arm around her shoulder, thanking Hyuk for helping her. Back home, Soo-in tells her she must go to the police because she can't pay the debt and the interest will double in 2 months. When he sees she's stressed, he suggests they eat together, but she says she has work. Meanwhile, Hyuk is in a jealous rage, wondering why she left him at the island if everything was so perfect. Then he notices his assistant overheard everything and begins teasing him about being jealous. He tells him love causes far worse. The next morning, Hyuk reluctantly goes to the office, but remembers she asked him to come so she can deliver the updated report. She hands it over, asking if it matches what he wanted. He remembers the night before and tells her to keep her distance. She's a mother and should respect that. She tries to thank him for helping her, but he shuts her down, asking where the resignation he requested is. Because when he saw her husband, he realized he can't stand her anymore. Later, the assistant informs them all departments loved the report. The team rejoices, thinking their efforts paid off. Meanwhile, at the gallery, Gang is on a ladder adjusting something, and just as she's about to fall, Soo-in catches her. She's overly moved and keeps staring at him strangely. He tells her he came to discuss the exhibition and shows her other photo ideas. Then Gang's mother enters, announces the exhibition is cancelled, and drags her aside. She scolds her for hiring an unknown photographer, lowering the gallery's standards. Soo-in overhears and leaves ashamed. Later, Hyuk rushes to the hospital after hearing his mother broke her leg. He presses her, demanding who hurt her. She tells him she fell down the stairs. He's too tense to believe her. He flashes back to childhood, the day his father brought his half-sister home, revealing he had an affair. His mother collapsed emotionally, and eventually her depression led her to attempt ending her life once. That's why Hyuk can't bear anything happening to her. When he steps out of her room, he finds Ri arriving with her mother in a wheelchair. Being a respectful man, he kneels to greet her mother rather than making her get up. That small gesture melts Ri's heart even more. They sit together and she tells him everything. How her sister ran away after being exposed, how her mother collapsed. Hyuk comforts her, and she takes advantage of the moment, telling him, "See how hard my life is, so how about you give me and Tae a second chance? We both have great responsibilities." She chooses the perfect moment. He agrees, promising to forget everything that happened on the island, as long as she doesn't bring it up again. Later, Gang goes to Soo-in's studio to apologize and is shocked to discover he has a son. She asks if he's also married. He tells her he has work and can't pick up John from daycare, so she volunteers to go. John likes her immediately, smiling because she's pretty. She questions him innocently about his mother. He says he's never seen her. Suddenly, a hopeful smile appears on Gang's face. Maybe she sees an opportunity. The next day, Hyuk's sister's secretary piles an even harder project onto Ri's team. They must go live online to market the products. Ri encourages Hyuk to accept, saying they can handle it. They go to the mall to buy what they need. The salesgirl assumes they are married. Hyuk loses his temper, telling her they are just colleagues, then leaves angrily. When they return to the office, Ri is forced to go live instead. She starts out nervous, barely able to form sentences, but gradually she improves and does great until they ask her to test the diapers live. She ruins everything and embarrasses them. Hyuk defends her, telling her he'll fix it. Ri leaves the office stressed, only to find the loan sharks waiting again. They force her into the car. At that exact moment, Hyuk exits the building, sees them, jumps into his car, and speeds after them. Ri finds herself tied to a chair in an abandoned place. Before anyone can harm her, Hyuk bursts in like a Bollywood hero, kicks the door down, pulls out his credit card, and asks, "How much is the debt?" And that is how the part 1 of the drama ends. To get the other part, subscribe the channel and like this video. This helps us a lot. Thanks for understanding. See you next video. Love you all.